All right. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
That'd be all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for riding with Waymo. Enjoy the rest of your ride.
Will do.
Bro. Bapak gimana? Oh no, kami kan di biasa.
What the hell? Is this even real, bro?
Bro, this shit is real.
Hey, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rachach Kodash, the ones, the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, the elders at Great Millstone. Of course, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, you know, the sincere ones within this truth. So, hey, you know, just, you know, looking at this video, nothing too long, you know, not going to make this video, you know, short and quick video, but hey, man, you see this driverless Uber and literally no driver within the car. You know, you just hop in. Well, it says driverless taxi service within the video, so I'm not sure if it's Uber or, you know, some type of whatever. Well, the brother right here said Uber, so, you know. But hey, point is, man, Esau is going he's going completely digital with everything. From jobs, you know, onto money. And onto other things, man, you know, which really don't need to be used that way. You know, everything doesn't need to be digital and electronic. But what? Esau wants to make it that way. Why? Because we know what he's ultimately preparing for. He wants everything to be digital because what? He has the upper hand. If everything's digital, you know, and if everything, for example, money, you know, it's easier to monitor money. It's easier to monitor money, man, if it's digital. Because obviously, Esau got his technology. You know, the money going to be stored within these servers. You know, your information going to be stored within these databases. So he's able to track your money. He's able to track, you know, what you're spending and what you're buying. You know, you can't track, you know, you can't track what someone does with cash. The most you can do maybe is see how much money they take out of their bank, but you can't see, you know, what they spend that money on. So what? At the end of the day, we know Esau wants to make everything digital. Let's go real quick. What do I want to get? Well, we can just go ahead and get out Revelation 13 and 16. Also, we can get out let's go ahead and get out Revelation 13 and 15. It says, and yeah, power to give life unto the image of the beast, and that the image of the beast should both speak. And yeah, and that image of the beast is, of course, and who's the beast first and foremost? That's the NATO and the EU, which are what? Edomite ran nations. Edomite, so-called white men. You know, these Edomite ran nations is the NATO and the EU. Or, you know, the EU and NATO consist, obviously, of, you know, Edomite ran nations. Countries, whatever you want to say. So it says the image of the beast. He had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and that image of the beast is his system. You know, Esau's laws and guidelines. He ordains you to follow after. And what he's adding new laws, you know, by the second. So what? It's gonna come to that point, and we're gonna get into it. Continuing on, verse 15, it says, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you don't worship the image of the beast, you're going to be killed, which what represents bowing down to the system. Of course, we know, obviously, we're in captivity. Some things, you know, we have to do. For example, we have to work, got to pay taxes, you know, got to pay for these bills. You know, got to follow certain laws within society. But anything that literally turns us, you know, if there's anything within the system that literally turns us against the Lord himself, because we have, as Israelites, so-called, and I'm speaking to you, so-called Negroes, Native Americans, Latinos, and of course, you got Israelites scattered amongst all the other nations as well, having the appearance of a heathen, but the seed line still goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, the laws, statutes, and commandments are given unto us. You know, of course, we can't keep every single law within society, but there's some things that, hey, if you don't keep that law, hey, then Lord, he's gonna cast you out, man. He's gonna put you to death. And one of those laws, man, because you know, it's, even though we can't keep every single law within society, there's obviously some things we can, you know, keep easily. For example, dietary law. You know, dietary law, not committing adultery, not killing, or those are all, you know, few things that we can easily keep within the society. And of course, and we're gonna get into it, but what? Of course, the MOTB, once Esau mandates that, he's gonna cause, and let's get into it right now. It says, and cause that as many was not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Yeah, so if you don't follow what he says to do, eventually he will put you to death. He's gonna, you know, deem you terrorist within, you know, the society, put you in a bad light, and ultimately put you to death. Verse 16, and he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Yeah, what is that mark? This is that MOTB, the mark of the, you know what, beast. And what is that? That's an RFID implant. It's not, you know, Christianity. It's not sleeping with white women, because believe it or not, you got some guys who are saying that. Nah, man, it's the RFID implant, CHIP. You know, I got to say it that way, or else, you know, YouTube, this video will get taken down. But what? You know, we all know that lines up with, you know, the way that the MOTB will be used. And let's get into it. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And when you get into that word mark in the Greek, it's the Greek word charagma, which literally means an incision within, you know, the skin. Let's get it if you don't believe me. Mark, charagma, it says right here. It says a stamp and imprint, a mark, thing carved. It says a scratch or etching. Yeah, scratch or etching. It says what? The definition for etching: cut or carve on a surface. Yeah, and what? It's literally going to cut into your skin. Esau's gonna have it where, to put that MOTB in you, he obviously gonna use a needle to insert it. So we know this thing is physical, and Esau doesn't deal spiritually, man. He only deals carnally. Why would, hey man, Esau at the end of the day, he's a carnal man. It would make no sense for him to use, a spiritual manner to basically identify everybody. It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Yeah, we're seeing, for example, and that's not even far-fetched. You're able to pay. Back then, obviously, you could only pay with cash. Maybe check. But now you're easily able to pay things, online. Pay for things online using, your online bank account. You're able to use, electronic payment, inside of a store while using your debit card. You might have that contactless payment option where you just literally hover your card over, the reader, the payment reader or whatever, and then it processes the transaction through that. Or you got Apple Pay. You can use your smartphone to pay now. You can use, if you have an Apple Watch or a smartwatch, you can use that to make digital payments. So we all know what he's obviously preparing the minds of the people. Because really, man, all this stuff isn't necessary. But what Esau's, he likes to bring, it's convenient, it's safer, blah, blah, blah. Which really, man, it's just all a front, just to, push his agenda. Ultimately, he wants to get the whole world, he wants to cause, like it says right here, he wants to cause everybody, man, to receive the MOTB, the RFID implant. And what is that small as a grain of rice? So they're going to use the needle, insert it, try to, Esau's going to have it where it's inserted by a needle. But what? That represents the MOTB. That represents that Esau owns you. Scriptures talk about, the oil, when you go into the Old Testament, it speaks about the oil. Basically, if a Israelite man, he's a servant under his master, I believe, for 7 years, if I'm not mistaken. Eventually, he has to choose the lead. Like, he has two choices. Either he leaves, go about his own way, establish his own, basically just do his own thing instead of serving, his master for the rest of his life. Or he has a choice to receive an oil in his ear. And then that represents, and then if he does that, then that means that the master owns him. Now he's a servant forever under that master. And that's literally, man, that modern day oil that's about to come to pass once more, that Esau wants to put in everybody. That this MOTB is our modern day oil. You can like it as our modern day oil, man, that Esau will use to show that he owns you. Hey, and again, the judgment is written for what happened under those people who receive this MOTB, that mark, that physical mark. And what will happen? Let's get Revelation 4, or select 14. Revelation 14 and 9. It says what? The header. It says, doomed for worshippers of the beast. Get in verse 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, yeah, you're completely under their beast, which is what EU and NATO. You're under in what image? You know, their system, under their laws, what they tell you to do. You completely, you know, under their, you know, you're completely, what's the wrong one use? Obedient to them, you know. But it says, and receive his mark in the right hand, or slug, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his right hand. What's going to happen? Yeah, so if you take this MOTB, and it doesn't matter if it's in your forehead or in your hand or what, you know, wherever. It doesn't matter if it's anywhere in your body. If you take that thing at all, man, this is what's going to happen. Verse 10, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Yeah, so let's break this down. The wine of wrath, it says, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of holy angels. Yeah, because we know World War III is prophesied within the scriptures. We know the scriptures is constantly speaking about Babylon the Great being destroyed by fire, which Babylon the Great is America, and that fire. But in the scriptures say how all the other nations will make an alliance to shoot down Babylon the Great, which is, what, by fire. Babylon the Great, which is America. It will be shot down by fire. And what? How is that going to be done? You know, the other nations won't, you know, aren't just going to cast up a spell and, you know, just bring down fire. Nah, man, that fire is that nuclear fire. That these nuclear missiles can cause. You know, you got these hypersonic missiles now. You got this new missile technology. What? So the Lord's going to put this spirit, and he has already put the spirit on these other nations to create these weapons. But Isaiah 58, I believe, it says how the Lord created the smith. That smith represents, you know, the what? First, you had these German scientists who created you know, the concept of a missile or, you know, nuclear atomic bomb or whatever. And then what? Completely upgraded, you know, nowadays, you know, they got hypersonic missiles. So, hey, so the Lord put the spirit and revealed these concepts and, you know, this technology onto, you know, teaming, which is what? The Germans. And, of course, it's spread out amongst the whole world. Every nation virtually, you know, got their own type of missile. You know, the big nations, you know, definitely have their own missile technology. So what? You know, the point is America will be destroyed by nuclear fire. This is that where, you know, the fire that will take place in America by these nuclear missiles shot from these other nations. That's that lake of fire right there. You know, and if you're not saved out of that nuclear destruction, that lake of fire, it's not speaking about the lake of fire is in a, you know, underworld hell would you burn forever. Nah, man. First of all, the word hell just means grave or pit. It doesn't literally mean an underworld, you know, where you burn forever. Nah, man, that lake of fire represents America being destroyed. Or, you know, the fire that would take place in America from the nuclear destruction. Yeah, so what? We know in the midst of that, Yahushua will come back, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, who the world ignorantly thinks that he's going to save everybody. Nah, the Lord's only coming back for the Israelites. More importantly, more specifically, the Lord's only coming back for the elect of the nation of Israel. You know, the Lord's only coming back for the elect Israelites. Scriptures speak what? Read Zechariah 13 and 8 through 9. There's 2 parts that'll be burned up and destroyed. That won't make it into the chariots. That won't receive salvation. There's 2 parts of the nation Israel, and there's the 1/3 other nation Israel which will be saved. That 1/3 is the elect. Yeah, so if you take that MOTB, then the Lord is not going to save you. The Lord, you basically make a statement to the Lord that your master and your God is Esau. And that you don't serve the Lord, you serve Esau. So that's the ultimate statement, decision to show, or the ultimate decision that's made to show that you serve Esau if you take that MOTB, man. So once Esau mandates that MOTB, that RFID implant, that if you don't take it, first he's going to say you won't be able to buy or sell, you won't be able to be part of the system. Eventually he's going to say, okay, we're going to put everybody to death who doesn't take it. Basically what, these concentration camps? Because we know that's coming. Look at FEMA. Come on, man. But what, at the end of the day, even though you won't be able to, be able to buy or sell, the scriptures say how the Lord will take care of his servants, man. What's Isaiah 65? The scriptures say, in destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. We know there's going to be a famine during the time of this. But to escape that famine, Esau's going to present to you the MOTB. At the end of the day, man, the Lord will take care of his elect. If Esau tries to, because Esau's going to try to put everybody to death. If he tries to put an elect member to death, the Lord can easily deliver that man from that death, But by an angel, by spiritual power, by another brother with spiritual power. Hey, many miracles, man. But at the end of the day, we know the Lord will take care of his elect. Even though we're going to go through adversity, because it's not going to be easy. Nothing's going to be easy. Man, resisting, that's the hour of temptation right there. That's why scriptures speak about the hour of temptation. The hour of temptation is that time of the MOTB, once it's mandated. Because obviously you won't be able to buy or sell, so you won't be able to buy no food, nothing. But that's okay, because the Lord, again, he will keep his elect taken care of. But what, at the end of the day, man, this driverless Uber, taxi service, whatever, hey, man, just a sign that things will come. Esau wants to make all, the jobs. Jobs are being, shortened, becoming, ran by robots. You got at McDonald's, I seen on TikTok, it's literally it's literally worker free. It's only a robot who's doing everything. So we know what's coming, man. We know what the jobs, a lot of these jobs will be overtaken. We're seeing, these AI, artificial intelligence, these apps coming out of nowhere. So we know Esau at the end of the day, man, he wants to make completely everything electronic, digital. So at that, so you can have ultimate control. But what, and that's the NWO right there. That's the NWO. But what, at the end of the day, the Lord will come back. The Lord will cast down this devil's hope. Scriptures say how the Lord's going to make him vomit up, basically everything he has been trying to accomplish. Well, Yahushua's going to come back, man, deliver his elect and destroy all the, the power and, destroy all these other nations, man. Their rulership. And they become slaves under the Israelites. Because, once Yahushua comes back, he will establish the kingdom of heaven on earth, which will be ran by the Israelites. Of course, under the power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So we know what's coming, man, at the end of the day. But again, driverless Uber, the driverless taxi service, man. Again, I'm not sure if it's Uber or taxi service, but hey, there you have it. Many signs and wonders. But hey, just want to bring that out quick. Lord, only bullets out there edified. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakodash, Brakathum, Shalom.